Hi, folks. Good to see you.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hola.
Hello to everyone and all the ships at sea.
What was good morning in Turkish? Günaydın. Günaydın. That was good morning in Turkish.
Oh, okay.
And tünaydın was good afternoon or good evening.
I know hola.
Yeah, that one's that's pretty
I
universal.
know buenos dias.
Buenos dias, yes. That's
Buenos
good.
tardes.
Oh, now you're getting fancy.
Yeah.
But can you say good night?
No, buenos suerte is good
That's
luck.
good luck.
I used to be able to. I don't remember.
Buenas noches.
Noches. That's it. Hello, whoever came in. Let us know who you are. We got 3 watching and 1 thumbs up.
When I was a little boy, I lived down in Laredo, Texas for about 7 years, from the age of about 3 till 10. And by the time I left, I was totally bilingual in Mexican, Spanish, because I lived right next door to a Mexican family that kind of adopted me. We had kids the same age. Sad ending to that particular story is the friend of mine got polio and died. But anyway, for the longest time there, Spanish was as natural to me as was English, because I spent a lot of days with them because my mom and dad
Hi, Rustic Traditions.
worked long hours, and I stayed with the other family, sometimes days at a time without seeing my folks. And then also out at Joe Howard's ranch, where all the guys that hung out there were Mexicans too. So yeah, I was bilingual by the time I was 10, and then went to Seville, Spain, learned how to speak Andalusian Spanish, which was really interesting because they did not understand Tex-Mex real well. And then later on, I ended up in Madrid, where I learned to speak Castilian Spanish, which is kind of like the Queen's English. It's the
Castilian Spanish is the King's Spanish.
The hoity-toity Spanish.
The ones that you speak with a lisp.
That's right. Yeah. It's so anyway.
How are you, Rustic Traditions?
I forgot so
Ellie.
much of my Spanish. Hi, Russ. And Ellie, hi there.
Ellie, you have a wonderful time with your husband this afternoon. Grandparents came over from Spain. I know very little Spanish.
What part of Spain do you recall? And that's Rustic Traditions is who? Do we know a name? Oh.
Hello,
Hi, Linda.
Dog's outside barking.
Bucky dog.
No clue.
Oh, darn. Because I'll tell you what, Spain is it's almost 3 countries. The northern part of Spain, the central part of Spain, and the southern part of Spain are like 3 slices out of the same loaf. But they are night and day different between each other. The pace of living down around Seville is totally different than it is around Madrid. You go up to Barcelona, you got a whole different mindset about life in general. It's really bizarre how different they are. But interesting. I love Spain. If I could live anywhere I wanted to, and money were no object, I would go back to Spain. Probably Madrid. I love that town.
And he'd have to
Amy,
go alone.
hi there. Thanks for coming. Why, you wouldn't go to Spain with me?
No, I would be in Costa Rica.
Spain's better than Costa Rica. Spain would be better than, it was my second choice. I mean, Costa Rica is nice, but toss them up. Madrid.
Hi, Allie.
Well, I tell you what, Rustic, to me, Spanish is, say what?
Rustic Traditions is Lucy.
Lucy. Okay, Lucy.
Amy said, nope, I'd be in Louisiana with her.
There you go. There you go.
Probably right.
That's very true. But Spanish is a beautiful language. I love to hear it spoken. Every now and then there's a Spanish TV, of course, here with where we are in San Antonio. Every now and then I'll tune into one of the Spanish stations just to listen to them talk. But
It's not real Spanish.
can't.
That's Tex-Mex.
Well, I can't. Well, no, actually, most of them do speak pretty good
Do
Spanish.
they? Okay.
But the thing is, I can't listen to it for too long because of the way that Mexicans project themselves on television is like so over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the women. It's like their lives depended on every word they're saying, and it kind of gets on
Hi,
the nerves.
Joe.
There's very little just real conversation like that, and I don't watch the soaps, but it's
I get a kick out of Hispanic television game shows.
yes, don't those funny?
Game shows are so much
They're
fun.
the funniest things, and
I don't speak the language, so I don't know what they're saying.
and
But
you can
everything is so big and so great, so wonderful.
you can understand the game just by kind of half-ass watching it, but the way that the contestants and the moderators and everybody else acts on a game show in Spanish, it's just hilarious. It is. It's just hilarious.
Oh, good. I'm glad you got it fixed, Joe. That's excellent. That is excellent. Joe's Dad's Tube came out yesterday.
Ooh,
Working on learning it with the kids. Have a lot of Mexican
Cool.
people here, and many don't speak English, so it would be helpful to be able to communicate better with them. I agree. We have a lot of folks here in Texas, in our part of Texas, who do not speak English. They speak only Spanish or only Tex-Mex. And I've often wondered how in the world they manage because, yes, we speak a lot of Spanish in this area, but the predominant language is English. And it just...
well, those that don't speak any English at all,
They have
as
family members.
people in any country, they depend on other methods of communication, or family members, or friends, or sign language, or a lot of things.
Or
Nowadays,
point and grunt.
right? Nowadays, you can get apps for your phone that literally will instantly translate into almost any language.
Well, I
From
know
any
that
language.
written they can do that.
No, I'm talking about spoken.
Really?
Yeah, like if I wanted to say good morning to you, I'd say, buenos dias, play it back and you'd say good morning.
Huh. I'll be darned.
So that's a huge help to people.
Yeah, it sure is.
Once you teach it your speech, you've got to do that first. You got to teach it how you talk, and then just like the old speech recognition programs. But then once you do that, it pulls it in, translates it into the other language, and then throws it back out.
Now, when
It's
they
amazing.
do the translation, do you get proper pronunciation
There
back?
you go, Joe said he can get a
Did you
good
hear me?
meal. No, I'm sorry, I didn't.
When you speak something in and it's learned your voice,
Uh-huh.
when it speaks back to you, say you're speaking English and you want Spanish back, does it speak proper Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since there are
Yeah.
so many different kinds of Spanish,
Well,
I didn't know.
I'm sure there's, but see, the thing is, well, the differences with the various formats of Spanish are kind of like here. It's just accents.
Mhm.
The words are the same, and whether I'm from Maine or from California, I can still understand most of our spoken words between the
Yeah,
two of us.
you can pack
So
your
it-
cat and
yeah,
you can park
exactly.
your car.
So, yeah.
Yep.
So you can
What
figure
have
it
we
out.
got going on here?
It's probably a generic. Let's see, working outside.
Good
I
for
gotta-
you,
gotta
Amy. By
catch
the
up.
way, you were not late. We were early. Oops. Bumped my. Different dialects.
Yeah,
can
their
be
kids
completely
translate
different.
real well,
It's
yeah.
true. Allie Oakley wants to go back to Paris. She lived there in college. I have a couple of friends that used to live in Paris.
I
And now
went
they live
to-
in other parts of France.
I went to Paris twice, and then whenever I was going through a tech school up there, or NCO Academy,
You're right, Amy. Slang
Across
is
the
different
border.
from place to place.
Yeah,
Hello,
it is.
Iris.
yeah, slang is definitely different. Definitely different. Yeah, Joe, I understand completely about enough Spanish to get a meal and get drunk and find the bathroom. That's about where I'm at anymore. Maybe I could carry on a short conversation if we stayed in the present tense. I've forgotten how to conjugate all my verbs. So anyway, but I love Spanish. Now, Turkish, on the other hand, which I had 3.5 years to try to learn, is a bear.
What
Is
is
a
Turkish? Yeah, you've said that a lot.
That is a bear. I barely. We Americans spoke what they called over there Tarzan Turkish because we took the way their language was constructed and just mutilated it and tried to make it English-like in structure where it wasn't like that.
Mhm.
Turks conjugate their verbs in the middle of the verb. Of course, we do it, beginning or end. But trying to figure that out and get that through a mind that's been raised and bred to deal with the other reality, boy, it was.
Right.
I had a Turkish friend who spoke beautiful English, and I depended on that boy a lot. I sure did.
I think here in Idaho, a lot of Southern Mexicans still think it makes a difference region-wise.
Yeah, yeah. If you took a bunch of Spanish speakers and dropped them in a room from all over the world, they might understand each other, but I'll tell you what, they would certainly have opinions about the other nuances of the language of those around them, So anyway,
And people tend to think
And the one
the way
standing
they
on-
pronounce it or the way they say it is the right way.
And the ones standing there pointing the finger, the biggest would be the Castilians. They think they got it. They think they're hot shit with their King Spanish and their lisps and all. Barcelona. Anyway, I like Sevillano. That one was, it had a real beautiful lilt
Mhm.
to it. But anyway.
When I was
All
in
right.
high
We've got
school, I was
Idaho,
fairly
Southern. Say what?
When I was in high school, I was fairly fluent, but
Yeah.
I've not used it
Right now
enough
we're-
to keep it up.
We've beaten that to death, so what should we move on to now? So what's going on with you folks? Anybody?
Amy's working outside today since Brett's off.
Oh, Brett's off today?
He's still on vacation. He has, what, 3 weeks left to go of his vacation, Amy?
Wow.
I think it's either 2 or 3
Came,
weeks left.
came back to work and boom, got vacation
Went
already.
back to work for a week and went on vacation for 3 weeks. The way it worked out
Okay,
for
I
him.
mean, he's got a tough job, but those are some pretty good perks there. Yep, that list is very important to Castilian Spanish. 2.5 weeks left. Wow. So has he got projects planned for around the homestead and put together a bunch of videos and stuff, or what?
They're trying to finish the chicken tractor because the meat chickens are coming soon.
Ah,
Joe Morgan had a great
Yeah.
sandwich yesterday. It was his birthday. Spent it in the hospital with your dad. Well, Joe, happy birthday. I'm sorry
Yeah.
you had to spend it in the hospital, but I'm glad your dad's okay. I have spent birthdays in the hospital before.
well, I got discharged from the hospital on my birthday last year in 2020. I went in on the 23rd or something like that, and got discharged on my birthday. That was the most unbirthday birthday I think I've
Yeah.
ever had. Because when I came home, what did I do? I went right straight to bed. I was not a well man. Oh, working on
Just
the
a
Amy
roll.
and them are working on the honeydew list and getting house repairs done. Yep, I heard that. I miss being able to do that,
What, honeydew list?
Actually, yeah.
I've got a honeydew list for you that you can do.
You think?
Yep. We got 7 videos that need to be redone.
Well, yeah, that's
That's a honeydew list.
yeah. I'm struggling with that.
A
I
new
really
channel art to be done, and
am. And I'm kind of. I'll be honest with you. I'm struggling with that.
I know you are. You're
trying
just
to
dragging
figure-
your feet.
Well, hello. Well, I'm just kind of.
You feel like you did it once, you don't want to have to redo
no,
it.
not at all. Not at all. That's not it at all. But you were saying yesterday, just put a sign up on the front of it and say, this is the same video I had, and then,
Mhm.
and then now it's here on my new channel. I want something a little better than that, and I'm not sure what. So I'm thinking.
Figure out what you want and we'll do it.
I think we need a
Careful what you wish for, David.
true.
You're wishing for a honeydew list.
I think we need you to say a few words about it as
Okay.
as the introduction. I mean,
All
that's just the way I see it. Anyway, okay. Okay, we get
Interesting
into,
today.
yeah. Allie, like I said, I've been drawing a blank on. It's just a design element. Kate's videos, her site got hacked, her old one, and we've moved over to a new one. But some of her older videos had, had several 1,000 views, or in the hundreds anyway. And I want to move, or Kate wants to move those over to this new location. We've identified 7 that we want to move first. But, we need to do sort of an introduction on there about, okay, this is the video I did from way back in June of 15 or whatever. And, we've moved it over from our old site, which got nuclear bombed. Okay, so Rustic is missing,
Hi, Susanna.
resting today. Super busy all week, starts again tomorrow. Yep, such is the workaday world. I tell you what, that's one thing I do enjoy about being retired.
Is what?
One thing I enjoy about being retired.
Being able to rest when you want to.
Yeah, I don't,
It is. I just realized why I'm having trouble hearing you.
You don't have yours in.
I don't have my ears in. I'm going to go put them
Why don't you
in.
go
I'll
get
be
yours?
right back,
Okay.
folks.
Her hearing aids are a godsend, but she tends to forget them. So it makes life a little strange because whenever she has them in, she can hear me pretty well. When they're out, the way my voice has just kind of gone south, I literally can't holler loud enough to get her attention if I'm in one room and she's in the other. So her hearing aids are a huge, huge help. And put her in a whole different world. I mean, whenever she first put those in, when she first got them, she said she didn't realize how much noise was around her. And of course, the birds are louder, and she can hear the bells. And before, even with her hearing damage, she could hear kind of in the human range, or she said she could always hear me. So whatever timbre my voice has to it, she
Hi,
could hear
Big
me.
James.
So anyway, glad to have you back.
One thing without being up current events.
Bringing up current events
Yes,
about the
it
germs treatment. Oh God.
That's been going on for so many years. I hate to even
You
bring it
know,
up, Joe.
Joe, that is a tragic, tragic subject. When I, over in Florida, I worked for the Governor's Commission on Disabilities. And we took calls from people in all 67 counties of Florida about anything having to do with disabilities. Anything to do with disabilities. And we got a lot of calls from family members whose elders were in long-term facilities, nursing homes, whatever they wanted to call them, and the conditions being just atrocious. And there was very little we could do other than contact the county, which we did, and or we gave them numbers to contact the county more accurately. But people would tell me stories of how their mom or dad or uncle or whoever were being treated. It was, some of the stories I heard were just horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
People lying in bed with, literally covered with bed bugs.
Mm.
Things like
Bed
that. Just-
sores, too.
and bed sores, but cockroaches running across their pillow. Just gross stuff. Gross. Big
Suzanne, I
green
saw
is
you and said hello.
to help you move. Moving just stuff or
No, moving.
moving? Oh, point A to point B.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't remember where, but I do know she is moving.
Hey, Joe, put up a good fight, partner. I'll tell you what, the Americans with Disabilities Act can be a real benefit to you if you study it. Take a look at the ADA. You can get to it on ada.gov and read up on what the requirements are that they have to meet. The ADA has very little power,
From Washington to Arkansas.
but once you know it and you start throwing it in people's faces, there are ways to get legal redress, file suits, things of that sort, police complaints. So look into it, look into the ADA and get to know that better, and it might help you in your crusade.
I'm looking at the possibility of having to put my parents into an assisted living facility because they are getting more and more mentally compromised, for lack of a better way to put it.
That's very true.
And I'm very concerned about it. I really don't want to do it, but I'm afraid if I don't do it soon, they're going to be a danger to themselves and others. So, hello, Billy.
Well, I found a few the other day when I searched, and I've got them saved. And we can take a look at what they show you online. And if any of them appeal to you, we can try to saddle up and go down and take a look.
It sounds like a good idea because it's getting closer.
It's getting to be
every day.
that time. I agree.
I called and talked to Mama yesterday, and she was so confused.
And Tom is even worse. So
David helped me yesterday. I was making an argument.
There you
to the
go.
emergency room. Good.
yeah, like I said, the ADA doesn't have much power, but it still has a little bit of shock value. You start saying I'm going to stick the ADA on you.
Thank you.
Sometimes you can at least get their attention.
Yeah, if you walk in sounding like you know
Yeah, hospice at
what
home,
you're
yeah.
talking about, they do tend to step back a couple of steps and treat you differently.
Yeah, Big Dreams went through that with her mother. Yeah, that's another tough choice. Hospice at home. Yeah,
Florida is I would not want to be elderly in Florida for anything. Even if I had millions of dollars, I wouldn't want to be there. I love Florida to pieces, but they do not treat their elderly
for
well at
for
all.
being the magnet for retirees. People used to call me from out of state, let's say Maine or even somewhere. And they're getting ready to retire. And they're saying, they do have disabilities and they've got certain benefits where they are. They want to know what would happen whenever they got to Florida. And I'd say, well, every benefit that you have will stop. And they just kind of like that. When you get to Florida, you're on a blank slate. And there are waiting lists for virtually everything. To get onto Medicaid and things of that sort, there were waiting lists of over 100,000 names long. And programs for the elderly were shot in the butt, totally.
Well, they
The
do
only
that
thing
now.
they could count on would be that their Social Security would show up and their retired pay from whatever else they had. But as far as any medical, dental, any health benefits or hospital, nothing. So I tell them, find another place. But I said, Florida is not the place for seniors. And I got out of there when I was, how old was I? 60,
12 years ago.
65 when I came here? Yeah, no. Well, close to it. Close to 65 when I left.
Hello, Stuart. Good to see you.
Has to be care with dignity and compassion. And that's so hard to find.
My problem with my parents is they're still aware enough and cognizant of what's going on around them, that they have very strong opinions of what they feel. And they could probably convince a judge that they were well enough to make their own decisions.
On a good day.
On a good day.
Yeah, no. Big Dream said that her mom was in rehab. She visited her every day and said, get me out of here. Oh, that must have been so difficult for you. Hear that every day and know that there was little or nothing you could do.
I had hospice care for my former husband when he was dying of pancreatic cancer. And in Texas, you can get hospice care for terminally ill people, but you cannot get hospice care for just plain old people. They have to be terminally ill here in Texas to get hospice. So that is not an option here.
In other words, you have to have a terminal diagnosis?
They do have to have the diagnosis, yes.
Okay, I'm old. That's a terminal diagnosis.
You're alive. That's a terminal diagnosis. If you're alive, you're eventually not going to be alive.
I'm not dead yet. That's a terminal diagnosis.
Yeah.
We start dying the moment we're born. So, what are you going to do? Okay, let's cheer up a little bit.
Okay. I
Moving
got to
on.
go shopping yesterday. I went
Oh, yeah.
shopping for hours yesterday. My friend Donna picked me up at 9:30 in the morning, and we didn't get home until after 5 o'clock last night.
We had a very interesting evening last evening, putting together a clothes rack.
Mm-hmm.
Just snapped together. It was all metal. With little dimples, which you push in the thing, and it'd snap out. And we spent 45 minutes, probably.
At least.
Just couldn't get it. We were both just really, really pissed.
Mhm.
And then Kate discovered that there were letters on the pieces.
But they were so hard to see.
It was a transparent sticker with the letter written really real small. And, well, once we discovered that, we could
We went together in 15 minutes or less.
15 minutes, we were done. But, oh, man, that was so frustrating. Just as we were trying things that well, this ought to work, and nope.
It
wouldn't
works, except it doesn't.
I finally told Kate, go get me a bigger hammer because I had to try to do something with it. But we finally got it together.
And I discovered the letters when I was putting everything back into the box.
Yeah,
to
we'd
take it
given
back
up.
this
We'd
morning.
given up. She was going to send it back for a refund.
Went to put that last piece in the box, and I saw literally, the sticker was not ½ inch wide, and it was clear.
It was like 14-point type, maybe.
Yeah.
At best.
Very, very small, and it was on a shiny surface.
It was
You
on
just couldn't
transparent
see it.
sticker. So, you could.
Even when I knew they were supposed to be there, I had
Yeah.
to look hard to find them on some of the pieces.
Yeah, after that, it took some time to find them on some of the pieces that we brought back out. Anyway, we got it together. The purpose of it, my sweet Kate, it's hard for me to get into the closet because my walker won't go in there, so I've got to kind of back in and wiggle around if I've still got my hose on and get a shirt. So what she did was she found this clothes rack that was probably wide enough to hang 25 or 30 garments, don't you think?
Mhm.
And she set it up in my man cave or the study that's just off our bedroom. And she put a whole bunch of my T-shirts up on it. So now in the morning, whenever I get up, I can go in there, which is no problem at all, pick my shirt for the day, and then move on. So she's saved me a lot of effort.
And
She's
it was
like-
only the second one I bought. The first one I bought from overseas, and it came, but the box was broken and the instructions were gone.
And the pipes were like yay big around. That thing would not have been very strong.
No, I agree.
It was really, and there were no instructions in there. And there must have been 50 pieces.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
At
So
least.
that one's just that's going to the trash. Just toss it.
Yeah, that or I'll use it to make some kind of frame for something.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, just stick a bunch of pieces together and use it for something else.
Mm-hmm.
We'll recycle it. Yes, we will. Okay. I'm terminally old. Yes, I am. In answer to your question, Diamond, yeah.
I
Letting all
agree.
the things I'm doing to
Big dreams, sometimes it is easier to just walk away, but it had gotten personal. By golly, I was going to make it work, and
Yeah,
then I couldn't.
I have walked away and come back, but this one was, it should have worked, but it just.
I could do that, Joe. I could pull out his clothes every night and set them up for the next day. But sure as I did that, he'd decide when he got up he wanted to wear something else.
I'll tell you what, getting old is a series of steps. And one of the
Right.
steps is giving things up. Now, these are abilities, these are capabilities, these are objectives or goals or ways and means. For example, going into the closet to get a shirt, that should not be an ordeal. But because of the condition I'm in, it's a pain in the ass. So having this as an alternative is just one way I can take back something, and I can still do that. I can still get my own clothes in the morning.
Yes, he can. He can get to them.
And-
He can
and-
choose them and that sort of thing.
You know, there was a time not too long ago I was having a lot of trouble with my hip, and I needed Kate to actually put my socks on. And I was thinking then, I said, oh shit, am I going to lose the ability to put on my own socks? Because believe me, that'll bother you. Think about it. So getting old is a progression of losing things, little things and then bigger things. So it's not a lot of fun. Now, I've hastened mine along by my abuse of my own health, but I mean,
We all do that. Hello, Liz.
I'll take responsibility for my COPD. Yes, that's my own damn fault.
I love it. Big Dreams has a magic pink hammer for those personal things.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Neanderthal rage when things don't function.
Well, in my case, I
Yeah,
tend not to get mad because most often when I have a situation like that, it's because I'm not doing something right. And it doesn't help to get angry. You have to dress your dad.
Yeah, there you go. Dressing
He's
his
got a
dad.
info, so it's a gradual process. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't just happen overnight. You're absolutely right. Things just kind of go away slowly.
Mhm. Liz, it's good to
Drivers
see you.
like, yeah, you're right, Big Dreams. With Kate's folks, sight, hearing, and driver's licenses are all an issue right now. I mean, Tom's damn near blind and can't hear. And,
And he still drives.
and he just recently had an accident that we don't know whose fault it was, but he didn't get a ticket. But I mean, he's 91 years old.
I have tried many times to talk them into allowing us to find a way to build an apartment on the side of our house, or to bring in a single wide mobile home and hook it up on the property so that they could be close, so that we could just, step out the front door and go to their front door and go in. Right now, they're 27 or 28 miles from us, and it takes a while to get there. So I would really like to move them in, but they are absolutely dead set against living in a mobile home. And I think it's old school. I don't know why they feel that way, but they just don't feel like mobile homes are what they want to live in for whatever reason. So they're determined to stay in that home. Now, it's a huge home. It's a huge home. It's got, what would you say, probably 28 to 30,000 square feet?
No, 28 to 3,000.
That's what I'm trying to say. 28 to 30,000.
Yeah.
It's a big home. It's got 4 bedrooms. It's got 2 baths, a huge kitchen, a dining room that's separate from everything.
Big add-on den. That big add-on den where he's got his room.
I mean, it's just a huge house, and it's way more than Mom should be trying to keep up.
Detached garage that's probably big enough for 3 cars.
Mm-hmm.
Diamond Willis said it is like the beginning of life, only in reverse. You are absolutely accurate there. I one of the best cartoons that I've seen is there's an old man and a little kid.
High Country Homestead.
And the little kid is pushing a wagon. The old man's pushing a walker, and they're going past each other. And it's just like,
Yeah.
That's the way it is. You just
Diamond Willow Suzanne says our bird screams like a girl. They're all 3 male birds, too.
Yeah.
Country Homestead Preacher came in.
Oh, good. Hi there. Welcome. It's good to have everybody here. How many we got? 14 on hand. Cool.
11
Good
thumbs
deal.
up. We got 3 people that haven't done thumbs down, but they haven't done thumbs up either.
I got to talk about golf for a minute, just for a minute. Okay.
All right. I'm watching the time.
This
Got 1 minute.
this weekend is the Arnold Palmer Invitational
Hi,
and
Christy.
the Bay Hills Golf Course in Florida, which he bought like 40 years ago,
Mhm.
and then has tweaked it literally till the day he died. It was his favorite golf course. It's a beautiful course.
It is
It's
that.
down in Florida, in the middle of Florida.
Thank you, Amy.
If you're a golf fan, today would be a good day to watch the final 18 holes. The guys that are up are really, really some of my favorite people. Jordan Spieth, Bryson DeChambeau,
My favorite leprechaun, Rory
McIlroy. These are all people that are very much in contention to win this thing, with a couple of others who, one guy who's only won once on the PGA, I think, is right now is in the lead.
Yes, you
So
will.
it's going to be a very interesting afternoon of golf, which I will go to as soon as I punch out here. So anyway, that's. I don't watch golf every week because some tournaments are just going. This is one that I try to catch every year. It's a good one.
And while he's watching golf, I am going to be making chicken stock and then canning it in my new canner.
Oh yeah, Kate got a new canner.
I got a new pressure canner. My old one has got some kind of problems with it. We haven't been able to figure out why, but the pressure gauge doesn't work, and I didn't trust it enough to do it without. So I got another one. It's the same. It's an All-American, but the first one I got was the 925, the really big one. It can take double layer of quart jars.
By itself, probably weighed 35 pounds. Just the pot.
Now, the one I got this time is the 910. It holds 7 pint jars total, max.
Will it hold quart jars too?
It will hold 4 or 5 quart jars.
Okay, all right.
But I don't can in quart jars.
I know. I was just curious.
So, anyway, it came Friday. And Friday night, I put it through its paces, just putting water in it to be sure everything worked. And they do. And so,
It's called testing.
yes. So I am going to use my new Instapot to make the
No, it's
broth.
not an Instapot.
Yes,
Pressure-
I know.
pressure. Oh,
I
to make-
have my
okay.
new
Oh, yeah.
Instapot, which is a small Instapot because
Yeah.
my large Instapot no longer holds pressure. So I had to get a small one of those a couple of months ago. So I'll use my new Instapot to make the broth
Okay.
and my
Got it.
new pressure canner to can it. So I have an afternoon busy. I also want to make can some potatoes because we're out of canned potatoes and we use those a lot.
Are you still going to try to make those little chicken dumpling things tonight?
Oh yes, oh yes.
Yeah,
And that's gonna be a video.
I found a recipe that I want Kate to try out, and I think we'll probably, hopefully, we'll end up.
Celtic Bear, hi.
It's kind of like chicken pot pie, but they're in muffin tins.
Mhm.
So you got just a muffin size chicken pot pie. Sounds kind of good.
You
Anyway,
can have one helping or you can have
you have
3
six.
helpings
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
6 boxes of lids when packing. Wow,
That's awesome.
that's a find there. That's $100 worth of lids, easy.
And I ordered new Tatler style lids, the reusable lids. They should be here soon. I got 15 regular and 15 wide mouth with the little gasket, the little rubber gasket that goes on it. So when they get here, I'm going to be doing some work, some experimenting with that. And we'll probably have a video come out of that as well.
Joe, I'm real pleased to see that you're glad to be here at home today and with your family, knowing the kind of things that you've got going on. I feel very honored
Mhm.
that you're here visiting with us on your Sunday. So thank you very much for coming by. I really do appreciate it.
Yes, we
And
did.
I will keep your father and you in our prayers.
Mhm.
As,
Which reminds me, I need to write it down on prayer list.
but thanks again. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate everybody being here. Don't get me wrong, but I can see it for Joe anyway. This is a very deliberate choice on his part to be here today. So that's greatly appreciated. Big Dreams Homestead gold mine. I think she's talking about your equipment.
Yeah, the
Yeah, the treasure for sure.
The lids.
Oh,
The lids.
yeah. Oh, the lids. Yes,
Mhm.
you're right. Okay. Yep, that's a treasure. Chicken pot pie puff pastry. Not exactly. This one uses Bisquick, and you mix everything up, and then you put dollops of it into the.
you don't dollops. You make little balls of it. You put balls on the bottom, and then you put the chicken filling, and then you put balls on the top, and then you bake it all.
Okay, what she said, and then I eat it.
Country Homestead Preacher's mother, Matt, had to take her to the hospital last night with possible heart issues. We understand heart issues.
Yeah, we
here.
do. Yeah, we
will
do.
Definitely put Maddie on the list.
Yeah. You want that chicken pot pie recipe? Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll see you to get
I'll
sent
tell
to
you what, and
That's Big Dreams Homestead.
so okay, I'm going to be making a video of it, and I always type out the recipe and put it below the video, so you can get it that way, or we can send it. I don't have your email, so I can't send it to your email.
To me or her? Or what? To me?
To
Oh, yeah. Big Dreams.
okay, we got Maddie on there. Lucy wants
Celtic
the
was
hot
told to
pot.
go to sleep. Well, then bye. Take care.
Take care, Celtic.
Nighty night.
Brett's going to the dentist tomorrow morning, praying he can lose 2 teeth pulled so that he'll stop coming. Oh, yes, he's been on our list for a long time for that.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, both of you are on our list for the tooth issues.
Yeah, I'd be on somebody's tooth issue if I had any.
Hmm?
Nothing. Never mind.
Sorry, I was reading and
No,
concentrating.
I was
Were you
just,
being tacky?
I was talking to myself more or less.
Okay.
Peekaboo to you too. Who said a peekaboo? Who said that peekaboo?
That was Kareem.
That was Kareem. Peekaboo. Peekaboo, Kareem. Peekaboo. I see you. That's like that. That was Gandhi, the one there in the middle.
Okay.
What about you, Bravo? Can you say it too? Bravo, where are you? Peekaboo, I see you up there. Yes, I do. Peekaboo, 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 peekaboo,
Lucy, are you going to keep big dreams when you settle in Arkansas?
peekaboo. Hello, Bravo. What you doing there, Bravo? Peekaboo. Well, Gandhi and Cree were saying it, but Cree won't, or Bravo won't.
Bravo won't what?
Bravo won't say
Peekaboo?
peekaboo right
Yeah,
now.
you rarely said it to me.
Yep.
Oh,
So-
in front of a storm the whole way.
So
That's not
Christy's got tooth problems too.
good. Christy, what about, isn't it your friend Wendy that we're praying for? I don't have that copy of the list.
So I take it this move is a long distance move.
From Washington to Arkansas.
All right. Arkansas is so beautiful. I've seen very little of Arkansas, and I got to admit, what I saw was stunning. It was just gorgeous. It was right around where Walmart's.
My sister
Is.
Carol lived in Arkansas for years.
Where's the Walmart headquarters?
Benton.
Okay, it was near Benton is where I was, around in that area. Because we drove by that headquarters there. I remember a little trip we went on.
Wendy.
Yeah, but it just absolutely gorgeous country. Beautiful rolling mountains and valleys and forests. And I mean, it was just gorgeous.
You're a big dreamer no matter what state you're in. I understand that.
And Rustic is praying for a cure for ALS. I'm looking forward to the next few years. Yes, ALS is a very cruel disease. You know, it leaves your mind intact and just takes your body. Those are bad ones. Those are the bad ones. Yep, Bentonville, Arkansas. Yep.
Yeah. Got that.
Anyway, that's kind of where we were down there for 3 or 4 days. I think we went down. And
Christy, if you can still remember where you put your glasses, your old timers is not as bad as you think it is.
and where's the place that has the? It's got all the country stars perform there. It's like a town.
Branson, Missouri?
Branson in Missouri. Somehow I've been there or drove by that.
I've not been there.
I
My
don't know.
grandparents used to go, but I've not been there.
Okay. Yeah, Christy, I try to give myself what I call my old timers test every day. I try to do something out of the ordinary, leave something in a different place, whatever. And then if I remember what I did with it, I pass my test.
I figure if I
can't
find my
find
keys
it,
every morning, I've passed my test.
if I forget to go look for it, then how would I know if I failed?
Right. I would remind you.
Darn, that's not a very good test, is it? Yeah, ALS is a tough one. A tough way to go. I'm sorry. Yep.
She's only 60.
Boy, Amy is our geography expert. You know all that stuff. She knew where Walmart was. She knows about Branson. She's our geography lady.
Christy's
Okay,
lost her glasses.
What's the
twice
capital
today.
of Delaware? I think I know. I don't remember exactly. I used to know them all.
What's the capital of Florida?
Oh, that's Tallahassee.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, good. You passed your test today.
Yeah, well, there was a great deal of discussion about that.
What's the capital of Texas?
Well, that's Austin.
You passed again.
Thank you.
Very good. How about California
Sacramento.
and Colorado?
Pretty sure it's Denver.
Denver?
Pretty sure it's Denver, I think.
How about Minnesota?
Oh, now you're getting tough.
Minnesota. My daughter lives in Minnesota, one of them. Amy has family
Yeah, I
in
don't know her.
Bentonville.
Dover, Delaware. That's right. Amy, look at you. Did you go looking that up?
The
or did you
kid's
just
smart.
know? Yeah, no kidding.
She failed at all but California. Ruth,
Yeah,
St. Paul,
Minnesota,
very
St.
good. She
There you
knew.
go.
I knew, but I
See,
wasn't going to tell him.
These are smart pimples out here.
Mm-hmm.
What about Montana? Come on, who's got Montana?
Billings.
Billings? I don't think so. Well, I have a theory about ALS
Yeah.
because the numbers are increasing, just like a whole lot of other nerve diseases.
It is
Yeah,
billing.
Billy. Well, that's according to Amy.
Thank you.
We gonna
Amy.
believe her?
Yes, we believed her on everything else.
Yeah, I think you got us beat.
How about New Hampshire?
You got us beat there, Amy.
That
Stuff leaks out of the brain, so there's room for more information. Yeah, you're right. That's
I thought I
very
just put it in
true.
a filing cabinet in my head and then lost the key.
It's amazing sometimes the things that do get filed in a long-term memory, though. You know it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the crap that we can remember I can remember stuff from 70 years ago like it was yesterday.
Helena.
Helena, Montana. There you go.
Talking about
See,
things.
I question Billings, and you questioned me questioning Billings.
That's because
And I
didn't
was
know.
I was right, Helena, and I think that is right. Very good, Amy.
When I was 21, I worked in
Montana,
downtown
okay.
San Antonio, and I took a bus an hour and a half to get home, living on the outskirts of San Antonio. And one day in early April, this would have been in 1971, I stepped off the bus to walk down the street to my apartment. And as I stepped off the bus, the spring breeze hit me in the face. And I knew at that moment, I just knew, I will remember this day and the feeling of the breeze blowing in my face for the rest of my life. I was 21, and here I am at 71, and I still remember it.
Yeah.
And it's like it happened today.
Yeah.
It happened just now. It's that clear in my memory. It's weird the way things get stuck. Oh,
I remember.
Lizzie Googled it.
I remember holding a golden eagle.
Oh,
that I had
yes.
when I was a kid on my arm.
Mm-hmm.
I had on like a welder's glove that came up to here. It wasn't that big, but it did have sharp talons. And I was looking at him like this, and I had a big old chunk of hamburger over here,
Mm-hmm.
and I was giving him bites off that hamburger. And he looked at me with a very intelligent look in his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that look.
Sometimes
was
the
10
intelligence
years
of
old then,
animals
10,
is
11 years old.
shocking.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
Big dreams, ALS, and fibro being connected. I believe there's several others that are in that same category that are all being at least, I'm not going to say caused, but they're being helped along by our current chemical and pollutant-laden environment in all ways. I mean, they're finding
Toxic environment.
microplastics now in fetuses. So it's crossing the mother-child membrane there that the uterus represents.
Autism, Asperger's, the list goes on and on. Yep.
Yep. According to Abby, Las Vegas, Capital, California.
There are some Californians who would agree with her.
Yeah. And big dreams, yes, we are. I've got a medication that I was prescribed some weeks ago. I read the documents to go along, especially if it's brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And this one said that you have the possibility of tearing tendons and ligaments. What a strange side effect.
Yeah.
And then it went on to a long description about, you like your Achilles tendons and tendons in your arms and legs, and telling it, don't strain or pull too hard because it might rip tendons. What the heck was I taking? So luckily it was only for 10 days.
And then as it happens, he had some problems with his
Yeah, I did. I had some pain in certain areas during that time.
For one
Yeah,
day.
my hand was all messed up one day, and next day was fine.
Mm-hmm.
So it just makes you think. But side effects are insane, very much so. I've had some strange ones, actually.
He's on some powerful narcotics to keep him from screaming. He's
Yeah.
talking about something like yesterday. Yeah.
Joe, that's more power to you, partner. You're doing a tough job. Tough job. Kate's done it too. I've not done that. I've not been with somebody
Lucy has fibro.
long term before the end.
I rarely take anything other than certain blood pressure medications that I really need and a couple of others. Amy believes that our diet has a lot to do with our health issues. Amy was diagnosed with fibro at 9 years old, and her diet definitely affects her flare-up. Yeah.
Huh. So I'm not the only one with the one about those tendons. I don't know what the name of it was, but I couldn't believe that when I was reading the cautions list that it could cause damage to your ligaments and tendons. That was really strange.
That was one of those where you question whether you want to take it.
Yeah, I did. I mean, the only reason I took it was because it was an antibiotic and I had an infection and I needed to deal with it. So had it been for anything else, I'd have probably said, Doc, you got something else that's not going to, break me?
Joe, you are right. When opioids are used correctly, they can be a lifesaver. They can remove terrible pain.
I was on opioids for 15 years and I never had any trouble. I took it as prescribed. Maybe now and then I took an extra when I was really in bad shape.
Hi, Joshua.
But whenever I stopped taking it, I had no problems, no withdrawal, no problems at all. So I'm pretty much down on the opioid objections. But it can be abused by those who wish to abuse it.
Joshua, real life gets in the way all the time. It's not a problem.
Well, Joe, I'm glad you're
Ciprofloxacin. That's what
doing
it
good.
was, hon. Christy Vetta said she thought it was ciprofloxacin
Yeah, you're right.
or whatever.
It was.
That was it. That's what you were taking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm amazed at is many years ago, I spent a number of years in the Mormon church. I became a member for a while. And one of the things that they teach in their homemaking classes is to use the gluten fibers as a meat substitute. They teach you how to build the gluten fibers and how to process them and form them to use as a meat substitute, because as we know, they have been prepping for a long time. They did not have any idea that gluten was so bad for people, and they taught that for years and years and years. They have since changed what they're teaching. So it's amazing. It really is. We found out the hard way that OTC Nexium causes a deficiency of calcium. It doesn't allow your body to absorb it. I take the prescription strength Nexium, and I take calcium as well for the same problem, or the same reason, I should say. Not sure it's all gluten.
Yeah, there's a lot of medications out there that are doing a whole lot more harm than good.
Mm-hmm.
But by and large, the practice of medicine, which first of all, why are they still practicing?
Right.
The
Because that's
practice
all
of
they can
medicine,
do. They never get a handle
the
on it.
medications that they prescribe for you generally only treat the symptoms for whatever it is that's bothering you. There are very few drugs that actually cure something. So all they're doing is just making you feel better.
You say you're willing to give up bread for a while to see if it helps. Having gone gluten-free for a number of years, I can tell you that it's not just bread you will give up.
Yeah, a lot of
All
other stuff.
products that have wheat in them. And believe me, when you start doing it, it's amazing where you find wheat. And you have to read every label of everything you pick up, because you'll find gluten in the strangest places.
Broke her arm 4 times before they finally found the calcium deficiency.
My word.
Question:
Abby
Did it
has
break?
had a hard
Did it
time.
break in the same place 4 times? Because if that's the case, I would have been checking that stuff out a lot quicker.
Lynn
Because
broke her
that's
arm
down to-
twice before I found out she was on a skateboard. I took her off the skateboard and she quit breaking her arm. First time it was a simple break. The second time it took pins and rods to put her back together.
We thought she was just mad at her left arm.
Yep. My
Bad
daughter,
arm.
my daughter Lynn
4 separate places. Wow.
knew I didn't want her on skateboards. Her older sister, never tried, but Lynn was one of those kids that did. And to keep me from finding out that she was on a skateboard, we had a neighbor that lived right across the street that had a very large kitchen, and she and that neighbor's child would get on skateboards in the kitchen and skateboard in the kitchen. And
Big kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when she broke her arm to the point where she had to have pins and rods and things to
Oh
put
my
it back
gosh.
together, she had fallen in the kitchen against the stove, bounced off the stove, and fell against a cabinet that was under the sink, but the door happened to be open. So she hit the stove, hit the cabinet, and the door was open. So she hit the door and then hit the bottom of the cabinet. And that's where the arm hit that needed so much, was when it hit the cabinet. And when they brought her
Yeah,
home,
John, yeah.
her arm was like this, and from here to the hand was hanging straight down, and there was a bone sticking out. So it was kind of a scary thing to see.
Yeah,
She
that's
did not
gonna-
get on the skateboard again, to my knowledge.
Big Dreams, you talking about the diet and or the Candida diet. I'm not familiar with it, but you know what? If it helps you, go for it, darling. Wow. And celiac disease, that's another one that is just really a rough one to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Big Dream, you have a good day. Hope you managed to get everything loaded up.
Be safe, darling. Be safe.
Just take care and
And
drive
let the
safe.
strong guys do the heavy stuff.
good luck with that move.
And let us know when you get there safely,
Yeah,
please.
if you're settled in by next week, maybe we'll see you next Sunday.
I hope
Take care. Good luck. Godspeed. Angels on the fenders.
He used to pray every time I would go from Texas to Florida to visit him. He would pray angels on my fenders. And the last time I went there before we got married, he presented me with a small beaded angel that I hung from my rearview mirror. So I then had angels on my fenders and one inside with me.
I believe in angels, okay?
Me too.
I believe they're real. And I believe they, on rare occasions, have an impact on our lives. I, for one, know for sure. I was saved by an angel. And this was in Nebraska. I was in a rental car. I was working for Sterling Software. And I was in well, we'll call it Omaha. It was actually,
Outside of Omaha.
yeah, it was just a little outside Omaha. But I drove from Omaha down to Lincoln for my work. Went to a place where I needed to do some computer stuff and started back. What I did not realize was that I had a fuel leak. And as I'm starting back from Lincoln, a blizzard hit. And a Nebraska blizzard could put 4 inches of snow an hour.
An
on the
unexpected
ground.
blizzard. There was nothing in
And
the
this
weather
was
about
not
it.
forecast. All I had on was a sport coat, just regular business attire.
Hi, Michigan Daffodil.
And,
Good to
and
see
I-
you.
Got in the middle of this blizzard, and I'm talking winds 20, 30, 40 miles an hour, blowing snow across the interstate, and I ran out of gas. And
In the middle of nowhere.
yeah, I'm 20 miles from anywhere in either direction, nowhere. And when it starts sputtering, I see there's an off ramp here. So I head to the off ramp. I've got no phone. This is before cell phones. But I certainly didn't want to be on the interstate. So I got off the road and got up maybe 50 yards up the ramp. And boom, it just dies. And I'm sitting there thinking, David, you in some deep shit. And I look up, and just barely through the blowing snow, I can see this pickup truck. And there's a woman standing beside it. The door's open, and she's looking back toward me. She gets in the truck, she backs up. She comes down and stops basically right in front of me. And she gets out and comes back. And like I said, I just got on, she's got a coat and everything. So I roll the window down, and she says, "You got trouble?" I said, "Yeah, I'm out of gas." She said, "Well, I got some in the back of the truck. I can give you some of that." And she had 4 5-gallon gas cans in the back of her truck. Ostensibly, she was on her way to Iowa from another point, and she carried gas with her in her truck so that she didn't have to stop at a service station en route. Okay. Yeah, it seems like a rather strange thing to be not wanting to do. But anyway, we put the 5 gallons of gas in the car, and somehow or other, it never even occurred to me to ask her name or to pay her for the gas. Nothing. And we talked. I looked at her face a few times. I said, "Okay, thank you very much." She gets back in her truck and she drives up the hill. And I get in the car. It takes a couple of minutes to get it started because I got to get gas going through the system. So I finally get it running, and I start going up the hill, and I see her tire tracks going up the incline. And I get up to the top of the hill where it's a crossover. There's a bridge like this across. The tracks stop. I mean, they just stop right at the top of the hill. They didn't cross over to the other ramp to go down. They didn't turn right. They didn't turn left. They just stopped. It disappeared. And then I got to think. I said, "Okay." Then I realized I couldn't recognize or remember what her face looked like at all. It was just like there was nothing there. So I drove home. When I turned the car in, boy, I gave the agent shit. But I said, "You almost got me killed." Got home, and I was with Kate, told Kate about it. And I said, that, ladies and gentlemen, was my guardian angel. She came and saved my butt in the middle of a Nebraska blizzard. I'm convinced that I either would have frozen to death, or if I'd have tried to get down onto the freeway and pass somebody or flag somebody down, I'd have been hit.
Yeah.
Because it was a complete whiteout almost. So an angel saved, and from that day to this, I've sworn that angels are real, and one of them saved my life, and that's no doubt.
Anioti has, they find
Oh, white
white feathers
feathers.
when she needs help or when she has a problem. That is amazing.
Huh. Slipped and fallen down the stairs.
In
labor.
and needs to go to the hospital.
Huh.
That's pretty amazing. My the most eye-opening experience with an angel was I was a member of a small church in the community that I lived in near Austin, Texas, and we did not have a church van. I happened to drive a 15-passenger van, and on Sunday mornings and Sunday nights, and usually on Wednesdays as well, I had a regular route that I drove and picked people up. Well, one time I was not driving my van. It was a Wednesday night. I was only driving my great big Mercury station wagon. It had 3 seats, 1 facing the back and 2 facing forward. I had 15 kids in the car. I was going down this road. I had got to the end of the road. I had to make a left in order to go up to the church. Directly in front of me, if I did not make the left, was a creek with an embankment that was almost 20 feet deep down to the creek bottom from the street. About 10 feet from the intersection, I'm holding this wheel, and the entire steering column falls in my lap. This is an all-power car. Everything's electric. No brakes, no window, no changing gears, no steering, nothing. It falls in my lap, and I'm going 40 miles an hour with 15 kids in the car and 10 feet to the intersection.
Holy cow.
I grabbed the steering wheel, put my hand under the column and pushed it up and shoved it in, and said to myself, "God, if you don't get me around this corner, I'm not going to make it." I closed my eyes and turned the wheel. When the car rolled to a stop, I opened my eyes. I had gone around the corner and pulled to the side of the road just outside the intersection. The kids were fine. Everyone was fine. Time to go home. From there, I hold the steering column up into the dashboard, very carefully drive all the way to my house and into the driveway, went to put it into park so I could get out, and I grabbed the gear shift, which was on the column, pulled it forward like you were supposed to, and went up into park, except it went shoom all the way over.
Whoa.
The gear shift didn't work. I tried to honk the horn and get my husband at the time out to come tell me what to do. That didn't work. So I sat there until it ran out of gas with my foot on the brake
Why
because
didn't you
there was
turn the
no
key
way
off?
we could turn it off.
Couldn't turn the key off?
Could not turn the key off. The key was part of the mechanism that had fallen in my lap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
So he got me around the corner. He got me stopped. He got the kids safely back home to their homes and got me my car into the driveway where it needed to be. It was amazing.
Yep.
Ooh, Christy went off an embankment and an icy road. Her pickup was sliding sideways and you knew you were going to flip. That's scary.
I think everybody's had some of those really close calls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's when you become very aware of how involved in your life heaven is.
Yeah, my close call was with that
Lady.
when I was swapping ends
Mm-hmm.
in the caddy on a dirt road.
I've had lots of other experiences, but that was the most dramatic of them.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I guess you could probably start a debate with quite a few people about whether or not angels do exist. First of all, you have to be a person of faith to even consider the possibility that there are angels.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of I guess the opening criteria is, okay, you are a person of faith. Now, do you believe in angels? I guess I should ask, how can a person of faith not believe in angels? Because they are said to exist in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And they have visited us up close and personal. So we kind of are forced to believe that there are angels. Now, whether or not there's going to be one that wants to, oh, I see, oh yeah, Dave's down there, he's in trouble. I'll be back in a minute, I'm going to go help this asshole. You know?
Well, the one thing I've always been impressed with is people generally think of angels as this tall, white being with flowing robes and huge wings and all that kind of stuff. And yet, every time you read of an interaction between angels and people on earth, they appear as humans. There was one person in the Bible, and I'm sorry, but I cannot remember his name right now, who fought with an angel. And it was like two men fighting.
Did he get his butt kicked?
Eventually.
It's not a good idea to fight with angels.
I don't want to fight with anybody, especially not angels.
No.
There are apparently very large, very strong beings.
You would think. Yeah, Joe, there is something out there, friend. There's a great deal out there.
How cool, Christy. She was going
Started praying, the truck
sideways.
was picked up, turned facing downhill, and gently set down. Wow.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah. Kind of like Marvel took over the animatronics for that vehicle and just morphed it around. And yeah, okay, I got it.
That's like he took me around the corner and set me
Yep.
down on the side of the road. Yep, I believe it.
And Rustic, yeah, angels, there's anybody that wants to make an argument that angels don't exist, I'd say, okay, well, then you probably call it good luck or fortune or fate or karma. But by any other name, there are some things that happen that are literally inexplicable, that seem to go counter to everything that our physical universe would say is going to happen.
Mhm.
But that doesn't happen. Something else happens. How is that made possible? Because according to the physical confines of the world, cause and effect are inevitable.
Mhm.
And a cause always turns out the same effect if it is the same cause. You hammer a nail, it's going to go down into the wood. Whenever you finally get it done, you stop hammering. But you just kind of have to if you have faith, you got to believe that there's angels. What can I say?
Seriously, my friend with me has his mouth hanging open for an hour.
You probably want to say, introduce me to your angel. Well, I need one. Mine ain't been doing such a good job lately.
Well, what's really funny on my trip was that I told the pastor about it the next Sunday morning, and he kind of laughed it off. He
Really?
didn't really get real serious about it. He just kind of, yeah, ha ha ha, and went his way. Well, after church, he came back up to me and he stopped me and said, I've got to apologize to you. And I said, why? He said, well, when you told me your story about the angel, he said, I didn't really believe you for some reason. I said, why? Do you think I'm a storyteller? And he said, no, it just was too fantastic. I couldn't believe it. But several of those kids that were in the car with you came up to me between Sunday school and church to tell me that what had happened, and all of their stories match, and it's obvious you had a visit of an angel. But it surprised me that a pastor,
Yeah.
but then again, pastors are humans.
Yeah,
They're people just like the rest of us.
Yep.
Well,
I'm just glad we got somebody looking out for us.
me too. I would not want to be
You know-
here all on my own.
Yep.
Yep.
Christy says there ain't a big, strong guys. There you go.
That has to be to pick up a pickup truck or an old station wagon.
And I would say that mine, well, it was a lady. It was a woman. I know that much. Like I said, I can't remember the face, but I vaguely remember the voice, and it was very calming.
Mhm.
You know, because I'm sitting there in my car,
Scared to death.
and
Yep.
the enormity of what's happening is just starting to kind of dawn on me. Like, David, you are in big trouble. You're in a blizzard in the middle of Nebraska, and you're nowhere.
And you're no
And
coat.
you're poorly dressed, and your car is going to get real cold here real quick.
Yep.
And this was a little country crossover. This was not an intersection where a lot of people would have been taking that exit. So chances are real good I could have sat there for hours before anybody would have noticed the car and stopped. Probably would have been
Yep.
a highway patrolman. So her being there on that particular crossover, why? Why was she just sitting there, standing beside her truck with the door open whenever I pulled up?
Hmm.
It was like she was waiting for me,
She was.
you know?
Not like she
You know,
was.
maybe she was saying, well, it's about time. I've been here for 10 minutes already. Let's get on with this. I got places to be. You know? So, I know you need gas. Here, let's get in the car. Okay, now get on. Get on home. Give him hell.
You're right, Amy. I think so too, because my angels are big, strong guys. His angel was a girl. But I have met female appearing angels as well. So I agree. Christy's going to start shouting, yay, God is good. I agree, Christy.
Yeah, I may not
God is
shout it
good.
out very often, or, I mean, publicly. That's only because my feeling is my feeling, and I'll share it fast or hear, even unasked. But it's not something that I carry around on my chest all the time.
Christy said, your angel said, okay, God, I'm sitting here waiting on David. That's great. Oh, that's great. Well, is anybody else going to change the subject? Is anybody else going to be canning today? And if so, what are you canning? Or am I the only one crazy enough to can on Sunday?
I don't know. Joe, to go back to talk about you believing something is out there. I tell you what, I don't even have the time to go into it. But I have a relatively intricate theory about the existence of God. And,
me too, Amy.
If you know me after a while, everybody who knows me knows that I have an opinion about just about anything. Some of them are a little more outrageous than others, but ask me virtually any question and I'll have some kind of an opinion on it. I'd like to think that more often than not, I'm
I need
more
to
or
do
less
that
right.
too.
What?
Amy said Abby just finished making dog food.
Oh,
I
yeah,
need to
you
do
did.
that today
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, you were talking about that yesterday.
I'll be doing that with the chicken that I take off the bones that I make broth with.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea.
That way I can do 2 things at once or more.
The Irish countrywoman. Hi there. 8 o'clock in Ireland. Ah, well, happy birthday to him.
Yeah.
So,
Happy birthday to your
is
husband.
that Annie,
By the way,
Annie
do you
Oatsey, is
pronounce
that
it
right?
Annie Oatsey
Or
or Annie
Annie-
Oatsey? I'm
Annie.
not sure how to pronounce your name.
I
dear.
hope it's Annie. That would be pretty. Annie Oatsey. That's pretty. I like that name.
Hubby delivered a baby boy Friday, 4
Oh my
blocks from the
gosh.
hospital. When Daddy caught up to the ambulance, he told Dad, Mom, and baby boy were good. Dad said it was
Supposed to be a girl.
supposed to be a girl. Sorry, Dad. That's interesting.
Well, somebody did not do a very good ultrasound on that kid.
Or they were just hoping for a girl.
Yeah, it could be.
Let's see.
Anya.
And,
Okay. Irish for Ann.
All right.
It's very pretty, Anya. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you here before.
Oh,
Have you
she's
seen her?
been here before.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I just didn't know how to pronounce her name.
So we have
Right. Surprise.
someone from Ireland.
Hmm.
I got to get her map. I really do.
Yeah, you do. That's another thing we can put on your to-do list.
There you go.
Maybe I should write one.
Yeah, that needs to be. It needs to be a big map now. I'm talking 48 inches wide, probably.
At least. If we could get one
Okay.
6 inches long, 6 feet long and 4 feet tall, it'd be perfect for that one. It'd be like a school
Right.
map.
Well, I hesitated to buy the really enormous one, but I guess that's what we need.
Hmm.
What we're talking about is a long time ago, we thought it'd be kind of fun if we had a world map more or less behind us here on the wall. And based on where y'all are from, we put pins to indicate all the points all over the world that tune into From Kate's Kitchen. Because we've got folks in Australia, we've got Ireland, we do have a couple of different parts of the UK,
All over the Middle East.
and some in the Middle East.
Got a couple in South America,
Yep, and
a lot in North America.
wasn't there one in South Africa at one point?
Hmm.
And then, of course,
And
various states here,
The
Canada.
islands, the Pacific Islands.
Yeah.
We've got several from the Pacific
So we've got folks literally all over the world, and it would be fun to put pins on the map to show where they are. So anyway, I'll probably get with that today, maybe. I got a few bucks I can spend. So, yeah. Yeah, so my
Susanna.
ultrasound was wrong. Me too. Yeah.
Susanna, I have never heard that voice. I have heard the thoughts, but never the voice. Must have been a really
Wow.
touching.
You feel his
and
hand on your shoulder. That would give you shivers, wouldn't it?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it would give you the shivers. Well, I tell you what, sweetie, I'm going to go watch me some golf.
What, you're here 17 minutes longer than I expected you
Well,
to.
I'm trying not to rush out, but
It's all right, darling. They know you have
Yeah.
a thing with golf.
yeah, I need to
My
go.
grandmother always wanted to visit Ireland. Her last name was Haney. I didn't know that was Irish.
Yep. I mean, everybody's got an opinion about something. I'm just usually willing to talk about mine. And try to convince you that's the right one. I do that sometimes too. Okay.
You knew it was coming,
Um,
huh, Amy? What are you thinking about? How to get that hose back in there?
Yeah.
Do you have
Tell you
enough to
what.
go on your bottle for a short period of time?
Well, what I'm going to try to do is I think I'll go around the corner
Mhm.
and see if I can pull this over. Maybe you can throw it over for me,
Okay.
and then I'll just run it back into the mission like I did before.
Okay.
All right?
Y'all
Yeah,
give
so
give us a
just-
moment to get this straightened
Wait
out.
a minute, I'm not ready yet, so you can stay there for a
Oh,
second.
okay. You're right, Amy. It's golf time. But then we watched yesterday, and we watched Friday, and we watched a little bit on Thursday. David didn't ask for a sip of your drink today.
What?
Bruce Corn said you didn't ask for a sip of my water today. And you know what, Bruce? I have just plain water today, but I made him plenty of coffee in the meantime.
That stuff last week was dangerous.
He's learned. He doesn't ask for a sip of my
No,
special
boys.
drinks anymore.
Hello, boys. How you doing?
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Hang on just a second, folks. Oh, you got it.
Okay, thank you, Ron.
You're welcome. There we go. Christy Beth says her husband was a golfer. He made kids golf clubs. They hit black walnuts around the farm. Oh, what a cool idea. I didn't know anything about golf when I was a child. Not a thing. Whoops. Sounds like the birds are getting crazy over there. My former husband, that I lost to cancer, played golf in high school. But when he became an adult, he gave it up. And now I'm getting a lot of information about it from David and also from Tom, my stepdad. He is also a golfer, or at least a golf watcher. So, yeah, I agree, Michigan. I think that is cool. He passed away and neither kids golf. Oh, that's too bad. Well, they had a good time though with hitting the walnuts around. That I'm sure brings back good memories. Sometimes those memories are more important than what goes on afterwards. Oh my goodness, Mr. Bravo is walking around the cage. You played miniature golf a few times. You could never be a professional. I had to quit playing miniature golf. I used to play it a lot as a young adult. But my problem was that when I would hit the ball, say I would hit the ball on the first tee for hole number 1, it would end up on hole number 3 because I would hit it so hard it would go way off. People told me several times that I should have been a professional golfer, but I never had the interest in that. But I somehow could never tone it down to where I was only hitting it right there in the area. It just didn't work. Yeah, Michigan Daffodil, I agree. Good memories of childhood, and they last forever. They really do. Christy, you're uncoordinated. Yours went through the fence and into the street. Yeah. I've been trying to talk David into going to miniature golf. There are several miniature golf places within easy driving distance, and the area is wide enough that he could get his chair in onto the greens and do the whatever. I mean, they don't have little steps or things to go over from the walkway to the green, so he could do that. But we don't have a vehicle that can pull a trailer that we can put his power chair on. So I would have to push him around. And I'm not too sure he likes the idea of me pushing him around any more than I already do. I play like you, huh, Amy? Somehow hitting a golf ball is supposed to take energy, and the ball is supposed to go somewhere. It's not just supposed to roll 20 feet in that direction. I'd be terrible at a putter because I can't make it go slow. Christy, is it Wheaties that give you hand-eye coordination? I got mine on the computer, from playing games on the computer, and from crocheting. I've got to admit, I did a lot of crocheting from the time I was 5, and you learn hand-eye coordination when you do needlework. Wow, we're down to 12. What's everyone's favorite outdoor memory as a child? That would be frowned upon now. Lawn darts with points. Well, when we moved away from the ocean, my favorite memory is playing badminton in front. Okay. We played badminton and we would just play for hours. Now, when I lived on the coast, um, going to the beach, of course, I've got lots of memories. My dad, when I was that age, had a night watchman service, and he would drive all over Corpus Christi and check various things. He checked the shrimp boats. He would check some of the refineries and things like that. They were all encircled with fences, the refineries were, and he would go all night long driving from place to place and checking to be sure no one was breaking in. So during the day, when we were home, we had to be very careful because that's when Daddy slept, and we had to be quiet. There was only one room in the house that was air conditioned, and that was the bedroom that Daddy slept in. So in South Texas in the summer, it gets really hot, and we always wanted to go in there, but we couldn't because it would wake Daddy up. Well, on Sundays, he always made a point of getting up so that we could go to the beach together. And we always had a bonfire, and we always roasted marshmallows and made hamburgers and things like that. So I think building a fire on the beach is probably one of my best memories. Let's see. Susanna says, going out to play all over the area without parents hovering. Yeah, I used to ride my bike in the middle of the night and nobody said anything. Anya says, running through the fields with my older brothers in the summer when they decided to build me a 2-tier tree house. Oh, that would be so cool. We never had trees big enough to put tree houses in, but that would be so nice. Trick-or-treating without parents. We never had parents when we were trick-or-treating. And my kids, by the time I had kids, it was not safe to trick-or-treat. We would go into the mall and the stores would give out candy. Christy says, hiking through the woods, wading creeks with water moccasins. Yeah, we had water moccasins in our neighborhood because we had a golf course right near us, and they stayed around that pond, and then they'd come out and come over where we were. Ruth said a big swing that our father put up in the old willow tree as kids could really get it swinging. I bet you could. Christy loved walking on the beach at night with her dad. Uh-huh. Walking on the beach is wonderful. I missed it for many years when we left the coast, but my only remaining sister missed it so much that when she became an adult, she left San Antonio and went back to the coast. And you had a tire swing. Christy, those are cool. Those are cool. My grandfather had a big tree in their yard, and he had a tire swing for us, but he didn't hang it this way so that you had to sit inside. He hung it flat or horizontally, and you could get 3 kids on it at one time, and you could either push it regular or you could spin it like crazy. And we used to get on there and get spun around. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Trick-or-treating with a pillowcase? I assume, Susanna, that you mean you got enough candy that you needed a pillowcase to get it all in. That would be amazing. That's a lot of candy. Oh, goodness. Children's memories. Instead of a plastic bag. We didn't even have those. We had the little plastic pumpkins. They're about this big around. And we would come back with those things absolutely full. Amy says we had a flat tire swing. It was great until the chain broke in mid-swing. Yeah, I'm sure. Ours was hung with rope. My grandfather tied it around. He actually he drilled a hole on 3 points on the tire and then put one of those eyelet things like you use for dogs to run in the yard, and you hook their chains to them. And then he tied the rope to that and then up over the top of the tree. Built a tire swing for her son and nephews at her parents' house. Oh, cool. You're right, Mrs. Daffodil. That would be a shocking landing. Well, folks, I guess I'm going to go ahead and close this out. If there are any other prayer requests, let me have them because I've got room for some more, and I will be praying for them all week. That's why I put them inside my calendar. That's my calendar, and there's the prayer list from today. So that's when you learned you didn't like to fly. I wouldn't. Actually, the flying is wonderful, Amy. It's just the landing that's not so great. Let's see. Any other possibility on prayer requests? Unspoken from Michigan Daffodil. Oh, also, I have your neighbor Wendy on the list. Okay, got that one. Susanna, yes, you dumped it at home to run out to continue around the I missed what that is. Oh, yes, I saw her interview, Amy, Heather from Navy Homestead. I saw the interview that she did in the hospital. She apparently was really badly injured in that car accident. Has both arms, both hands, both feet, I mean, all four limbs injured. And one leg had to be completely replaced. That is scary. Okay, got that. Cindy. Okay, we've got Cindy and infections. Okay. Yes, I knew she lost her husband. I knew her children they're staying with, I think, her sister, but I believe that they were injured as well, but they have since been released. So, yes, that's the one I saw, Susanna. Oh, good, Christy. I'm glad to know that. That is wonderful. Yeah, Susanna, you're definitely on my list. You never come off. Okay. Christy, I need to add your sleep issues again. Okay. Oh, good, Amy. That's important. By the way, for those of you who also keep a list, um, I have several things I would like to have added to your lists. First of all, my brother in law, who lives here on the property with us, was taken to the hospital by ambulance 9 days ago today. And he was having what he thought was COPD issues and couldn't breathe. It turns out that he has congestive heart failure and he was in the middle of an issue there. He does also have COPD and he has been struggling since then with alcohol addiction and he is coming off alcohol and it is confusing him and causing him a lot of problems. So please remember him. His name is Ron and he needs all the help the Lord can give him because he is struggling badly. And then, of course, my parents. We have some hard decisions coming up from them, and I'm not real sure how I'm going to make them. I'm just going to have to pray and hope that the Lord tells me what to do. So that, and then my sister Carol, who is my only remaining sibling, is not doing well. She lives in the Corpus Christi area, and she is, health-wise, she is doing very poorly. So please pray for her as well. And that's all I have left to add. I take that back. Let's see. Definitely keep praying for me and my family. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the prayers, believe me, because I wouldn't make it through my life if I didn't have people praying for me. I truly believe that. Also add the prayers that I can get it together enough to start making new videos. I have all kinds of plans, all kinds of things that I want to do. And I just get so overwhelmed with everything else in my life that I set it aside and I plan to go back to it and I don't. So I need prayers that I can get my head together and actually start doing videos again. I've got so many I want to make. I've got so many that have been requested. I just need to do them. And I haven't been able to. So one more. Father-in-law Bob, eye issues, treatment decision he needs to make, wisdom and peace. Thank you, Michigan. We'll do that. Okay, Christy, this is great. We can lift each other up. Absolutely, Christy. It's very important. Oh my goodness. Good for her. Is she doing better, Amy? She has to stay off her foot completely for 8 weeks. That's going to drive her crazy. How is she going to be able to get around? Are they going to give her one of those little scooters where you put your knee on it and push yourself around? I've seen a lot of people use those things. Yeah, I hope it cheers her up too. We can definitely pray for the pain management. That's something we've had a lot of in this house. Well, ladies and gents, if there are any gents left, I love you all so much. Thank you for coming to visit with us again today. We are definitely going to remember all of these in prayer and for the unspoken ones. I do appreciate you coming every Sunday. I love you greatly. Thank you for being our friends and thank you for coming. Y'all take care and bye-bye.